This sign started out as a billboard, and it's become a monument over the years.
A monument every LA tourist wants to get as close and personal with as possible, especially this year, the sign Centennial. The symbol of Los Angeles and the world movie capital turns 100 in December 2023. To celebrate, we're going to go behind the scenes on a rare VIP tour that will get us way closer to those magic 9 letters than most people ever get to see.
How'd I get in? Well, the Hollywood Sign Trust, which manages the sign, affords this tour to a few select photographers to help publicize the Centennial, and I was one of the lucky ones. Hooray for Hollywood, right?
So the location that we're standing in right now is actually off limits to the public. So this is a very VIP experience.
First, we climbed up the hill up Mount Lee, then went to the fence that protects the sign from onlookers. And most people get here and look over the fence at the backward letters of the sign, which is hard to capture on your camera, even at the widest lens setting. You'll probably need to make a panorama shot. Or you can climb up to this little ledge above it for an easier to capture awesome view of the letters. But for the tour, we got to step inside the fence and deep into those huge letters, which at one time was open to the public. Here our guide opened up the fence for us, then handed us rope to help us get down that very steep hill. The best photo spot up here, I was promised by Diana, my guide, was all the way across the letters. So we made it over there, and I began snapping away. Photography-wise, I needed a little more distance to get the entirety of the sign in, but the hill was so steep, I actually couldn't step back anymore. Still, I got a different vantage point than usual on my iPhone and all those great shots of the city of Los Angeles from above. What a cool way to see her. I also had fun with my crazy Insta360 camera, which let me do special effects like this slow motion trick they call bullet time, and the invisible selfie stick, which I was holding in my hand the entire time. You can see the shadow, right?
So the sign was originally built in 1923, so it's 2023 now, and so it's the 100th anniversary of the sign. And we don't actually know the official date that the sign was erected. It started out as a billboard. People don't often write about it being a billboard. And so we're using the December 8th birthday, which is when we know that it was lit. That's when it was written about in the paper. And so that's kind of the moment we know that it was built in 1923.
So how can you come celebrate and say happy birthday to the sign without being invited to an awesome VIP tour? Thanks for asking. Please stay tuned for part 2 of this episode. I've got 6 awesome ways for you to view and photograph the sign. Stay tuned, coming up in just 1 second. Unlike landmarks like the Eiffel Tower, Statue of Liberty, and Golden Gate Bridge, in Los Angeles, tourists cannot come right up to the Hollywood sign easily. You can't drive up the hill and get out of your rental car to see it, as there's all those no parking signs pretty much everywhere in residential neighborhoods. But I can show you 6 great ways to see the sign. You'll just have to do a little walking, but trust me, it's worth it. Get your camera charged, put on your hiking shoes, and let's get going.
This is one of the best hikes to get to the top of Mount Lee to get right behind the Hollywood sign. I like this brush canyon trail right off Bronson Street because it has parking, facilities, and thus is easy to get to. You can also take the hike from Griffith Observatory, but parking there, it's tough to come by. In fact, the city recommends taking public transportation up there on the Dash bus or to park at the Greek Theater a few miles down the road and taking the bus up there. Both hikes are under 6 miles and could take as little as 3 hours or longer, depending upon how fast you walk.
And what's great about the Brush Canyon Trail, which is my favorite hike, it's our medium hike on the sign, is that it tees on this road. And if you go up the road, you get up and above the sign. If you go down the road, you get to the best front viewpoint of the sign. And that gives you the perfect place to take a shot of the sign just sitting over your shoulder. You can pretend like you're holding it, you can pretend like you're kissing it. You can do all of those fun perspective shots.
If you don't feel like hiking, you can view the sign from a Griffith Observatory viewpoint or at the Ovation Mall in Hollywood, but you're going to be pretty far away. There are two other ways to see the sign with the letters frontwards up closer. Another option is Lake Hollywood Park, where you can also see the sign, just not as close up. There is limited parking, but again, another word of caution, you're going to want to be there early to get a space.
And then there's the Cahuenga Peak Trail, and that just leads you across the way from the valley over here. And that gives you the Wisdom Tree, which is another fun sight to see. It's just a phenomenal hike, but it is our most difficult hike.
So it should be easier to get to the sign, right? Well, thankfully, the Hollywood Sign Trust has great news for you.
We're hoping to build a visitor center that's going to offer great views of the sign and just fun exhibits and place where you can just go and experience the sign that's safe and accessible to all.
Where will that be?
We're still looking for a place. we're
But
trying to figure that out.
there'll be a visitor center, you park there, you're getting a bus or something, they'll take you up.
We're figuring all that out, but that's the biggest thing is that, you know, I think Mount Rushmore is the closest example of what this is. But again, they have viewpoints, they have parking, they have the National Park Service, and we're trying to figure that out.
The Hollywood sign, like LA, it is the stuff of dreams. You can't come visit the city and not get at least one great iconic shot of the sign, right? You're just gonna have to work for it. What can I say but hooray for Hollywood and happy birthday Hollywood sign. I'm Jefferson Graham, you're watching Photowalks TV. Please stay tuned for more episodes. We have plenty right here, right there, right there. Not sure where, but I know there's gonna be one for you. So stay tuned. I'll see you on the next Photowalk, everyone. Bye-bye.